Good morning, this is Dwayne, and today I'd like to take up the key of D minor. The key of D minor is relative to F major. Yesterday we took up the key of F major, what you needed to know about playing in the key of F, and we decided that there's three primary chords in any major key. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. So the three most used chords in the key of F are F, B flat, and C, far and away. Okay, but then there's some secondary chords in every major key. Okay, by the way, there's only one major key, and that's part of the problem when we go to minor keys, because I'll show you there's three of those. Okay, and that makes it a little more complex, but I'll try to keep it simple today. There's just one major key, so in the key of F you're dealing with there's just one major scale is what I'm saying. So in the key of F, that's the F major scale. So the 1 chord is F, the 4 chord is B flat, and the 5 chord is C. Okay, but then there's some secondary chords. The 2 chord, so we build a chord on the second note of the scale. Why do we use that note instead of that? Because that's in the scale. We have to use scale notes. We can't use notes that aren't in the scale. And then that's the 2 chord, and then the next most used chord is the 6 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so if we build a chord there, that's D minor. And then the next most used chord is the 3 chord. So 1, 2, 3. If we build a chord there, that's A minor. So in other words, in a major key, there's three primary chords. They're all major: 1, 4, and 5. And there's three secondary chords, which are all minor: 2, 3, and 6. Okay. Now when we go to minor, that's not true because there's three separate minor scales. And I don't want to confuse you by talking about the different kinds. I'll just summarize. There's a natural minor, there's a melodic minor, and there's a harmonic minor. Okay, the melodic minor is strange because it does one thing going up, and coming down it does something entirely different. It reverts back to the natural minor scale. Okay, enough about that. So let's talk about the primary chords in the key of D minor. The scale of D, I'll use a natural minor scale too. No, I'll use a harmonic minor scale, I think, because that gives us that C sharp. Okay, so the 1 chord in the key of D minor is D minor. The 4 chord is G minor, and the 5 chord is A major, because of that raised third. Okay, so if I'm playing in the key of D minor, I just use those three chords: 1, 4, and 5. So in a minor key, the 1 chord is minor, the 4 chord is minor, but the 5 chord is major. Okay, so that's the difference between major and minor keys. In major keys, you recall the 1, 4, and 5. The three primary chords are major, but in minor key, the 1 chord is minor, the 4 chord is minor, but the 5 chord is major. Now, in a major key, there was three secondary chords, but in a minor key, that gets complex because of the oddness of the scale. You have three scale choices. So there's one that is used a lot, and that's the 2 chord. 1, 2. So if I build a chord on E, that's my chord, E minor, if I build it on the natural minor scale. But if I try to use the 6 chord, what happens? That's a diminished triad, and that's very seldom used. If I try to use the 3 chord, what's that? That's major, isn't it? You see, so there's only one secondary chord that's really used very much, and that's the 2 chord. So that's all you really need to know about the key of D minor. The 1 chord is D minor, the 4 chord is G minor, and the 5 chord is A major. And then the secondary chord is E minor. Okay, those 4 chords will take you a long way in the key of D minor. Okay, now tomorrow I'm going to show you how so many songs toggle between major and minor. And I'm going to play a song tomorrow that will start out in D minor, and then it'll toggle to F major. And then it'll toggle back to D minor, and then it'll go to F major, and then back to D minor, finally end in T minor. Okay? But I'll wait till tomorrow on that. But that's interesting because you're using the primary chords of both keys, the F major scale and the D minor scale. By the way, they're called kissing cousins. They're related because if you go down a step and a half from any major key, that gives you the relative minor key. Okay, it's relative to the key. D minor is relative to the key of F major because they use the same scale notes. Okay, that's why they're related. And I think I have a video out on that already. But so if you want to look that up, that's great. Otherwise, I may talk about that a little more tomorrow. Okay, that's it for today. So tomorrow, as I say, we'll cover songs that toggle back and forth between major and minor keys. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.